Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Feminine read for you today, as well as sand art now, and then oracle cards at the end as usual. So I'm going to get right into it. It is December 1st today, 2018. We're going from the 11th of November, which is Justice, to the 12th, which is the Hangman. So it's all about wisdom this month. I'm going to get right into the sand art, and then I'll get back to the date and the numbers with the read. There's a lot of messages that came through today with the sand art and the read and the coding from the read, so you might want to stay tuned. For the sand art today, the messages that came through for me were nightmares, people having nightmares and trying to piece them together. Also, I saw a beehive, so it might be a bunch of busy bees, you know, people gossiping, that kind of thing coming up as well. I saw a horse, or it could be a donkey or an ass, you know, a person who's an ass, looking you straight in the eye. Dreams of a wedding, multiple weddings. I see two plus another in the making. One thin Divine Feminine walks straight down the aisle, and the second stops to talk to the other bride with concerns that she has. Also, muscle testing is coming up, so we might talk about that for a second. A very tall bride then shows up to prepare with another, and so on and so on. It's like a chain reaction of brides. Then I see a chicken and a rooster sharing a heart, whirlwind romances, a bit of chaos and cuddling, multiple dimensions shifting together, so some kind of dimensional collapses going on, a baby bird hungry looking for its mother, so there may be souls looking for mothers, you know, to come into. Aladdin and Aladdin's lamp and I Dream of Genie all came up, as well as dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. And then I saw a group of people vomiting, so I don't know if someone gets food poisoning somewhere, but I was definitely seeing a big group of people all vomiting. And I also saw nuns involved in this situation. People in line for help or to see some kind of huge excavation. And then I'm seeing people displaced in the cold, power outages, lots of blankets, and also angels hovering as a tree of life develops from the spirit of angels' hearts with crowds around. Maybe a space capsule is found, or a hideout, or even a spaceship. But I was getting definitely a place to get warm by the fire, and then more fires possibly a little bit out of control again. Hopefully not, but I was definitely seeing that. And then I was actually seeing a teepee burning, which could be referencing a pyramid burning as well. Running from an elephant so as not to get trampled. I was also seeing masculine arousal then to save the day, but then the pyramids on multiple timelines collapsing, like the end of this, and there's a delay in my voice. It's really funny to watch myself with a delay. But showing this collapse of the masculine timelines from Egypt, where the masculine has to save the day. Okay, that's the savior complex. Also a large military tent. Also seeing a theater or a coliseum camping out for tickets. So there could be some out in line and it's very cold out. But also seeing people hurt in a collapse of some sort. And it's very cold out in all of these situations, like crowds after a big game, a tunnel or a subway, a bridge or a highway collapse. But it could just be a part of a building collapsing, but there's some kind of collapse, as well as the timeline collapsing. But I was seeing a lot of people like in chaos, like not knowing where to go, and definitely some people hurt. And then I was seeing a sighting at Mount Rushmore. So a lot of messages came through here. And then for the Divine Feminine, and I happened to watch this movie. It was a cute movie. It was called A Christmas Prince, The Royal Wedding. So, and that comes up with all of these weddings in the sand art today. So there's some confirmation there, as well as muscle testing. Just a quick example for you guys if you're not familiar with muscle testing, if you want a yes or no answer. and you can do it with yourself. I mean, people usually do it with another person, but the ways to do it yourself is through, you can use any fingers, I believe, but you might want to use the weakest one, this fourth finger. So using a finger, or you can use double fingers like this as well, your middle finger, okay? So if you say yes, like it's strong, and then you say no, right, and it pulls apart, okay? So you can use that to answer some of your own questions, or to see if you have, when you've done some healing work on yourself or someone else, to use that as a test. You might want to see if you can visualize numbers or percentages coming up to heal. Anyway, just I wanted to bring up muscle testing so you guys are all aware of it, that you can use it for yourself for yes or no answers, to try to get to the bottom of a problem that you might not be able to get a direct answer for visually with your intention, that kind of thing. Okay, so for the Divine Feminine, on the other way with one hand, if you don't have two hands, you need one hand. I was looking them up yesterday, and one of them is where you can just take one of the fingers and, you know, you push against that finger. So yes and no, okay? It weakens the muscle, okay? So those are some examples of what you can use. And the day today, of course, is December 1st, and one is the Magician energy. So all about manifesting and making magic. Could be a magician. It's also about physician energy. And magician reverse can be about mental illness, which actually comes up today. So it's definitely coming up in reverse today, the magician, but upright as well. Also the Queen of Wands, the 24 is today's day. It adds up to 24/6, which is the Queen of Wands, which also comes up very significantly in the read today, and both are connected. So 24/6 is that 6 of motherly energy. It's love, family, and community. It's the 4 of stability on the inside and structured, very responsible type energy on the inside, and on the outside is very feminine, the 2 of being very balanced and soft. Being able to see the other person's point of view. Okay, but anyway, this is the energy today, the Magician and the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is very, you know, it's a fire energy. She's very fiery, magnanimous, very physical, very sexual, usually very good-looking person, that kind of energy. Very creative, and a real go-getter, that kind of thing. And I woke up this morning literally at 8:28, and 28 is the 2 of Wands. 2. Don't worry, I just want to make you happy. I think I love you. The David Cassidy song. It's actually the Partridge Family, but oh, partridge in a pear tree just came up as well. I actually have a partridge in a pear tree. I have a pear tree, not a real one. All right. Then when I started the Divine Feminine read, I'd put the cards down already, and that was at, I finished putting them down between 9:56 and 58 this morning. So 9:57 was coming up as well. And the numbers came up 5s and 7s. So 57 was the important number coming up here. I was getting magic mushrooms, so peyote, as well as the jumping cactus. So I don't think the jumping cactus is the cactus that they get the magic mushrooms from, but jumping cactus were come up. I don't know if that was referenced to the cactus and peyote or just as separately, but that was coming up as well. Okay. It could be referencing hallucinogens, as well as you know, some shaman work that you may be doing and using hallucinogens, but that was definitely coming up. I've never received that message before. Magic mushrooms, peyote, and jumping cactus. And it's really funny because my daughter a couple years ago was attacked by jumping cactus. She had it stuck on her hand, and she had it a couple places. It's not fun. So for the Divine Feminine, the major arcana were Starseed, Luna, and Transition, which is the Fool, the Moon, and the Death card. All right, so we have some strong transition energy here, because we have the Starseed, which is the Fool, a fresh new start, and then the Transition, which is the Death card, transition. So there's definitely ending and new beginning happening at the same time, and then we have the Moon involved here too. And I was getting upright and reverse energies from the Moon here. So because we're between the full moon and the new moon, pretty much right in between. So there could be a lot of emotions coming up here, romance as well as deception. There's 2 Pentacles, 4 Swords, and 2 Cups for the Divine Feminine today. No Wands at all. So it's about physical activity and passions. So there's not much there. There's a lot in the Divine Feminine's head today. The Court cards that came up, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. But I also want you to know, even though the Queen of Wands didn't come up in the major cards for the read, which is the Sirian Starseed deck, she did come up multiple times in the read today in the clarification card. So the Queen of Swords is the energy today. It comes up as very important. The numbers that came up in the read today were, like I said, 5, 5, and 7 came up, as well as 57, 55, 77, 17, 242, the number 50, and 25, as well as 250 came up for the numbers. In the codes, it was all about abundance, and it's 1144 when I just looked there. That was interesting. 1144 are actually my numbers. My soul number is 3811. My life lesson number is 448. But 11 and 44 are justice and the 4 of Cups. It's justice and Atlas, the weight of the world upon your shoulders. It's also about grounding and integrating. Being very strong. It's also about the twins and union. Okay? All right, so the coding that I have was all about abundance. And that's not about money, it's about abundance. You know, whatever makes you feel abundant. But there was definitely transition energy here, and mourning, grief, sorrow, sadness, regret. The 5 of Cups card, that was coming up, as well as all these 5s and 7s, which is, you know, can be very chaotic energy, because it's all that, the expansion of the 5, the freedom of the 5, the change of the 5, and then the 7, which can be illusionary, of the 7 of Cups. So it's definitely some chaos here, but I was also getting Hawaii, so 5-0 was coming up, so Hawaii was coming up, as well as 50-year-olds or people in their 50s, as well as source supporting change. But this was coming up, expansion of source energy and seeing the keys or the wisdom in grief. Okay? And the transition through grief. But it's important to use it, and to not to push it down, but to go through the grief. It was expressing the importance of the grief process and the tool that it is, and how once you learn how to use it, how quickly you can pass through it instead of staying in it for years and years. But the Hawaiian energies, so maybe Lemurian energies, are coming up here around this. It's about the wisdom, and again, we're in the Hangman this month, the number 12. So it's all about using wisdom. And the wisdom in sadness and grief, in order to go through the grieving process. For the Divine Feminine, to make their transition. And also portal energy was coming up in the read today as the outcome card, so, or the solution. I don't like to use outcome, but this is part of your abundance, is to go through grief. Okay, that's the expansion process. Also in the coding was vets were coming up. So vets in transition, because obviously they go through a lot of traumatic stuff. So the grief that they need to go through was important here. as well as Corvettes came up, and Ions. Corvette, Ran, Sit, Ion. And Eon came up yesterday as well, and something I was watching. But then the Corvette came up again when I looked into it. And it was specifically for someone. It's about a 74 Chevy Corvette, and then a 2007 Saturn Ion came up. And as well, there was a reference to the Corvette and something about the Corvette that's going to be there till 2021 regarding lithium-ion prices, and that was from Motor Trend. Also, a 2003 Yamaha Y2125 came up, as well as a 2005 Yamaha, I think it's PUS 80. I could have those letters wrong. Or maybe PAS 80. But that was from Maine Craigslist. So that's specific to someone, maybe who has a 74 Vet or a Saturn Ion. That was from 2007. It's just strange to come up. Like, Ion would never come up to me as a car. I didn't remember that Saturn made an Ion. Some of the other codes that came up when I put it in online were about career transition and coaching, transition archives, and that was from get5.com, both of those actually. So that might be a good site to go to, get5.com, about career transitioning and coaching. Also, proceed to download Taylor Swift came up, blank space, and that was an MP3, and that was from oclasrv.com. Also, Roddy McDowell from the Planet of the Apes came up from Wiki. Also, Dope Magazine, Western Washington, the Active Issue, and that was from issuu.com, and it was referencing Chelsea Mulligan, and right before her gymnast career at age 13. Also, Drum Issue came up, 294, True PDF 24, so August 24th, and today adds up to the 24th, so that came up. August 24th, 2017 is a date that may be significant to someone. And communication, and that was from scribe.com. Also, the date 5/7/18 or 7/5/18. Addition, arrest, and theft came up from scribe.com, as well as on establishing, I think, that phrase, as a final particle in interactions, and this was from Science Direct. It was showing the advice seeker using I think as being used so they'd have the ability to disagree when they're actually seeking advice. Okay, I'm not sure who that was for, but that came up from Science Direct, which was an unusual place to see that. And then entertainment, pilotonline.com came up. Uncle Al's Tap House opened on Mediterranean Avenue in Virginia Beach at 4 p.m. Tuesday and played to a packed house until closing. So that must be for someone in that area. And then obituaries came up from yourlifemoments.ca. So if any of those resonate with any of you, let me know, because they're definitely specific messages. Also, Natural EOS Lip Balm came up, or Lip Balm. And then getting into the Divine Feminine read. So a lot of interesting information here. So it starts out with an opportunity to expand for the Divine Feminine. There's a Page of Pentacles here in the underlying energy. To learn about healing and grief and financial independence and being in your power, with a practical offer, possibly from Hawaii, and or someone in their 50s or 25, or a Knight of Wands from a happy family, or a Knight of Wands who seeks you for a happy family. To help kids and or twins who don't understand what it is to be strong or don't know why they are strongly grieving. Also, refusing to see the goodness in the past, especially with kids and your twin relationship. You know, forgetting the good parts. And it could just be about your past. It doesn't have to be about your twin. but remembering the good things in your past. So some of the energies that were coming up in the Divine Feminine read in this section, because there'll be another section I'll bring up some more signs, were Leo, Virgo, Libra, Aries, and Scorpio. Was getting kids and twin recovering in a practical way from injustice due to lack of faith, refusing to see, possibly jumping into things without using their intuition, and now working out details of alignment, working with your hands potentially to get over your grief. That can be very therapeutic. And then this is where magic mushrooms and peyote and the jumping cactus came up. And these are involved with this situation. Or just hallucinations, falling on your face, or falling off the wagon during recovery. Opportunity to work on sadness, loss, and regret. So it's showing you that this falling off the wagon or whatever you're doing, or the situation that you're in, or if you're just in sadness again, that this is a chance to work on your sadness, loss, and regret. And then religious factors came up, and that's really about your love life being influenced by your spiritual path, and underneath that was past life relationship. Okay, so grief and death are out to be dealt with, cutting cords and transforming romantic burdens. Couples are all business, wondering where the passion went in their relationship, while one or both are thinking about their flame and getting caught with their pants down, possibly alone with their thoughts, even though they're next to their partner. So feeling very alone, and like even those who are in partnerships are feeling alone, like they're single. Just not giving each other attention. It's all about just convenience, and there is no love there. Or certainly no sex life. Alright, so then the underlying energies from the numerology deck was rebirth, which is number 16, which is tower energy. But it's rebirth, so a death going into a new beginning. And then beneath that was nature, which was 74, and I wanted to bring that up because 74 came up about that Corvette. But it's also, the 74 is about the Six of Pentacles. It's about equitable distribution, so there may be equitable distribution in a divorce situation, or just balancing things and making things more fair as far as sharing with others and giving and receiving. And it's not always about not giving enough. Sometimes it's not about receiving enough or allowing people to give you. So then I was getting energies of horns coming out, as well as designer hooks and rubies. And then I was getting rubles and Slumdog Millionaire. And that was so strong, and Spirit's connecting with me. In the movie, the voice of the guy from the show, when he says rubles, I kept hearing him say this. So it's very important that Slumdog Millionaire comes up here. So horns, it's about horns coming out, as well as designer hooks and rubies. So it's all about a superficial life and people losing their patience if they're not getting what they want, that kind of energy. But then Slumdog Millionaire came up, imprisoned with anxiety, and also self-blindness, or someone refusing to see, even though they know it's there. They might be just pretending they don't see it. Or detoxing, literally in a prison. If indeed you fell on your face, high on mushrooms, after a bar fight. Or possibly there may be an assault at work, involving a Capricorn and a Leo, maybe Pisces or Aquarius, where a female Leo got away, and the air sign did not. But this is all around this bar fight situation coming up. But definitely assaults at work are coming up as well, and I know that as a fact. Leo might have instigated the fight. The Leo female who got away may have instigated this fight. And this fight could have been at a bar, but it could be at a workplace as well. There could be a workplace that is a bar as well. This Leo may be have manipulated a situation, seeing an opportunity to get away. A fight between partners that needed to break up, or that have already broken up, and then one was trying to get back together with the other. And then I was getting afterwards that Leo is sad and Libra is working, Scorpio and Virgo pretending like nothing happened, and back to watching TV after work and holding on to their burdens and obsessions and not doing anything about it. So recently for the divine, this is still all underlying energy, okay? So recently There's juggling, performing, repeating patterns by the King of Wands, who sees a downturn, possibly at work, or in their luck in general, causing brain wars, or him to go back into his head, and be at war with himself. And an opportunity now to be strong and courageous instead of staying in his head, to practice this. The foundation has to do with an opportunity for a fresh start, or a bomb drops, forcing a fresh start. But it's all about this Queen of Wands sitting in uncomfortable emotions, indecisive and or without affection from their kids, feeling burdened with too much physical work, and ready to drop everything for a fresh start. Centrally, the Queen of Pentacles is here. After depressed and wanting to start over in love, and after grounding and integrating, receives an offer of love from either a Knight of Cups, from herself, or from another Queen of Pentacles romantic tie, presently suffering in a marriage. Challenged by sorrow without options, there's a Queen of Swords who speaks about the relationship of establishment with the devil. Marriage, religion, corporations, government, dark ties in marriages and relationships, and the price that the children pay in the dark marriage or commitment without freedom, which I can attest to that, because I definitely felt like home was a prison growing up. All right, so now the Divine Feminine is passing on downloads, and there was a lot of the Seven of Swords energies. Literally 3 Seven of Sword cards came up, all in the same place. They're mostly reversed, but there's definitely illegal activities going on here at some point. Not now. I'm showing that things maybe are sneaky and shady, but not like really awful right now, but there was some illegal business going on or something bad. But now the Divine Feminine is passing on downloads, which in itself is risky business, telling truths of sneakiness and being sneaky in the connection while trying not to hurt others, while trying to heal yourself, and blocks of grief and being strong. If blocked to synchronicities, there may be an infection in your connection, so there might be some implants or something within you that's infecting you, or some kind of infection around the Divine Masculine or within him that's putting a wedge in the connection. Could definitely be people around the Divine Masculine or around the Divine Feminine. But if you're blocked to your synchronicities that you normally see, clear yourself, or get in touch with someone who can help you clear yourself, because there may be some kind of infection that needs to be cleared. And this could be a physical infection as well, like I was bringing that up in the gums earlier today, or yesterday, or the day before. There may be a liar in your midst, or someone wanting to fess up to seeing synchronicities while sharing with others. Someone may be offering money or a new life to start a new passion or creative pursuit that has risk involved. So there may be an offer here. Someone may be offering money or an opportunity for a creative project or a passionate new beginning. Definitely could be a new life and with a twin, that kind of thing. But there's definitely risk involved here, and they may not be telling you everything. Someone's been watching a romantic tie and or pornography. There's a lot of half-truths and sneakiness here. May have been, prior to now, illegal activities, possibly identity fraud. I was definitely getting this, someone pretending to be the Divine Feminine, possibly someone with unilateral mastectomy or implants, breast implants, definitely tied to this conflict of dark sex or porn or forceful aggressive sex in a marriage, or for a dark man in power. So there's to this conflict, there's a dark man in power connected to this, who, it could be a religious leader or otherwise, but it's definitely a man in power. And then I was getting a pedophile is now free. Also, there could be a dark child who has some mental issues. Also could be an adult who behaves like a spoiled brat, conceited, wanting everyone's attention, free, doing whatever they want in a marriage, but also it's coming up like this person does whatever he or she pleases. I was getting more she energy, but it could be a he as well. But in a dark marriage, where the devil or the dark shadow energy is connected to a Page of Cups, the Fool, and the Queen of Wands, who comes off as the Queen of Cups, but is actually the Empress reversed, a very dark side of her. The energies coming up around this were Cancer, Taurus, and Pisces, Aquarius, Aries, Capricorn, and Scorpio. Or this Queen of Wands could normally be a loving person, but is in extreme lack consciousness or victim mentality at the moment, attracting dark energies to her. Someone may force sex on a partner to wake them in the morning, or to get their attention when awake, flashing their boobs to get attention as well. So again, I was getting this mostly as this Queen of Wands energy, feminine energy, although it could be a man in this kind of energy. Obviously, flashing their boobs is going to be a female, right? But I was getting this woman, you know, they always talk about sexual abuse with the man to the woman, but I was getting the opposite here to bring this to people's attention, that there's a lot of, I looked up the statistics of this, and there's actually, it's not 50-50, but I think the percentage was like 38% of the assaults are actually the feminine on the male. So someone may be forcing sex on their partner to wake them up in the morning, or to get their attention when they're awake during the day or in the evening. Flashing their boobs to get attention as well, to get their way, like it's very manipulative. Her wish is his command. Or her, you know what I mean. So I was getting a female dictator, perpetrator, abuser, black widow, sadistic, or dominatrix energy here. So obviously that's not for everyone. There's specific messages for a few. Soon for the Divine Feminine, I was getting ascension. Also somebody in a 7 or 12-step program. Someone may have a secret family. Or a psychic happy family ascending. Heaven in their eyes, using their intuition for family emotional fulfillment. And that's the positive side of this. The Divine Feminine is coming up as the moon energy, feeling romantic but emotional, leading the way in truth to dysfunctional families, or getting attention and success using truth as the choice of weapon with a dysfunctional family, or in families spending too much money. Moodiness is now coming out in the Divine Feminine, and at night she may be feeling more emotional right now. Okay, so the cards that came up from Romance Angels are You Deserve Love for the Divine Feminine. Release your ex, which is really about clearing your energy. It doesn't mean that you're still seeing your ex or they're still in your life or there's anything you need to do with them, but it's all about clearing your energy. So you might need to clear your house of certain energies or things or people. Also, make the effort was coming up. The great love is worth Mercury retrograde. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Okay, so make the effort to follow your guidance for the Divine Feminine. All right, because the Divine Feminine may recently have felt uninspired or frustrated. So it was like your guides coming back to remind you, you know, reconnect with your guides. It's okay. And don't forget, we're still in that Mercury retrograde, which can cause some frustration. But don't worry, it'll come back. So, and this was 12-12 now. Around the Divine Feminine is a King of Swords. This could be a Divine Masculine or a karmic energy. But I was getting, if it's the Divine Masculine, it's the Divine Masculine transforming in his King of Swords, and if it's the karmic, just being cold, but both presently coming out after over-isolating from the world, logical and all business, and the Divine Feminine is very emotional right now. So you're really polarizing into, you know, the masculine being in his logical self and the feminine being in her emotional self. So it could be gossip and other overindulgences coming up here. The Divine Feminine needs to clear blocks around being silent, not speaking up. But also some may need to be silent. So there's, however it fits for you, there's a block around silence, thinking too much or resting, when we're told that we're not worthy unless we're busy all the time. So there may be a block in that sense where it's not okay to be still and rest and think or meditate. But it's also around emotional detachment, manipulation, gossip, and other overindulgences. So whatever relates to you, this is the blocks that are coming up for the Divine Feminine to clear right now. Coming together at work, ungrounded, when you don't get enough sleep due to stress, fear, and or crying. Okay? So knowing how important it is for you to get rest, because when you don't in the past, you know that it's caused issues at work, especially if you have a job where you need to be on point all the time. You need to get your rest. So the cards that came up from the numerology deck were abundance and moderation. So abundance is 88 and moderation is 14. And again, the 88 adds up to 16, which we got in the rebirth as the underlying energy. So that's that tower energy again of abundance. So maybe could be spontaneous abundance for some coming up. But even more important was the moderation, which is 14. That's all about temperance and balance. Staying at 0 point. So you're going to be tested now. It's saying moderation, it should be your focus right now. Staying at 0 point. So the outcome energy was the death card, or in the Sirian Starseed deck, it's a literal portal. So definitely should be doing some meditation today, if not this week, to connect with your Divine Masculine through a portal. Okay, there's a rebirth and transition portal. New life reunion. White lilies and fantasy union. Wish, destiny of a Queen of Cups transforming lack. There could be a miscarriage or abortion here, or a wrongful death case. So here's where I was getting some sticky information. There could be a wrongful death case involving a Queen of Wands with mental illness, institutionalized, may have transitioned there, or I was also seeing someone who may have escaped, which I can attest to that. It didn't happen now, but a couple of years back, my mother escaped from her apartment when she wasn't in full care yet with her Alzheimer's. So again, there may have been a death in a mental institution or some kind of institution like that, like Alzheimer's, or someone may have escaped. But there also, I'm seeing someone who may have escaped to hurt a child in a marriage, or to free a child from an evil Taurus or a Capricorn leader. So someone may have been institutionalized by this bad person and trying to escape to help a child. Also to free a child from a dark Queen of Wands at home. So maybe a parent knew how a child was being mistreated who's institutionalized and wanted to get out to help the child. Also, I was seeing swords being put down at home regarding addictions or codependency to deliberate some bad decisions that were made, judgments, poor judgments, or the state of mind of a Queen of Wands. And the energies I was getting here are Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, and Aries. I wasn't getting Sagittarius. I was getting Leo, Aries, as far as fire, and Scorpio and Taurus for this Queen of Wands. There may be a child that needs to be institutionalized as well, and parents not in agreement with a passionate exchange about the transition or death, or this twin portal of reunion. Reunion fantasy with passionate exchange and expression of feelings. But again, with all of these Seven of Swords in the read, there's definitely some illegal activities going on here, as I've mentioned, so you might want to rewatch some of that information. There's definitely, after the read, the energies coming up in the clarification cards are about feeling drained, weak, and unhappy, or with mental or specific physical illness is coming up here for sure. But I was getting that the Emperor regains control at the new moon with new love, twin, and or renewed love with their children, or regained control about a deceptive love from the past. So during the retrograde, they may have been pulled into a past situation that they knew it was no good for them, and now regaining control of their situation. The opportunity for new start, leap of faith, to receive big downloads from the full moon or at night with the King of Swords, who's usually the King of Wands, but in need of work or money, so in his head, about a Queen of Pentacles potentially, sadness, illusions, options to rest and be quiet, or of meditation, and 5D risky passing of information in a transition or death situation. Someone may actually be reaching out for a channeling session from some of the Divine Feminines to connect with a loved one, so be on the lookout for that. As well as the Divine Feminines, it's maybe a guidance to practice your channeling of loved ones who have passed over already, or that your Divine Masculine may be very good at this. Or, like I said before, it's just a big portal connection with your Divine Masculine tonight, so it may be a good time to meditate. Okay? So that's the read for the Divine Feminine. I'm going to show you the picture of the read. This is the Divine Feminine read today. And now the Oracle cards. Okay, first from the Ascension deck. Take a deep breath. Clear away. Clear away. Clear away. Okay. So what are the energies for us today? What is the advice for us today? This December 1st, 2018. What is the energy for December? How do we start this out? What is the energy? The bottom of the deck is Archangel Retreats, number 50, which is the 10 of Cups, which definitely came up. Okay. Archangel Retreats. And the affirmation is, I visit whatever Archangel you want to visit in your sleep tonight. Okay, so like I said, it's a good time to meditate tonight. It's reiterating that, and to connect with an Archangel. And it's number 50. 50 is the 10 of Cups. It's of that loving family energy. It's the 5 of Swords, supporting expansion and change and freedom and romance. The card that came up for everyone is Neptune. It's 4222. All right, so the 4222 that just came up, and then 28 just came up, was the 2 of Cups and the Fool. Okay, about taking a leap of faith in a one-on-one connection. So Neptune is number 19. 19 is the Sun. It's the 1 of masculine energy. It's the 9 on the inside of compassion and universal selflessness and endings, and on the outside being that 1 driven, focused masculine energy. It says Neptune is the planet of higher spirituality, and the wisdom of Atlantis and Lemuria is held within its ascendant aspect, which I brought up Lemuria today in the I think that was in the sand art, right? And I brought up Atlantis as well with Egypt, okay, because we were talking about the pyramids. So Neptune is the planet of higher spirituality and the wisdom of Atlantis and Lemuria, and wisdom comes up with December. It's held within its ascendant aspect. You are blessed, for you only receive this card when you're ready to receive their information. Your guidance is to tune in. I'm losing my voice. Your guidance is to tune into your Earth Star Chakra. Then connect with Neptune, the cosmic Earth Star Chakra. Archangel Sandalphon oversees this center. He nurtures your divine potential and will help you download the spiritual light you're waiting for. This will expand your consciousness and greatly assist your ascension journey. The affirmation is, I attune to the wisdom of Atlantis and Lemuria held in Neptune. Okay, so you might want to try to connect with Neptune tonight as well. All right, we have the past life deck. Take another deep breath. Clear and align. Clear and align. Clear and align. Okay, so this December 1st, 2018. What is the energy? The mailman's here. We have male, female again, and baby, and forgiveness. And the bottom is Atlantis. Oop, that just dropped off. Okay, Atlantis is the bottom of the deck. So dolphins is coming up here, as well as pillars. Okay. And then this did fall off, so this was meant to be seen, monk or nun, which came up the last time I did a read. Okay. So maybe there's some energy from Atlantis for you guys of being a monk or a nun. And nun came up in the sand art as well. So make sure to break all your vows of celibacy, of silence, whatever it is, because silence came up as a block for the Divine Feminine. The 3 cards that came out were male, female, all right? So it's about conflicts between males and females, but also that's about integrating your energies together when you come together before you speak, to align your spine, your chakras, so that you're more aligned with each other. Also, baby came out, and forgiveness, okay, which is very pure. So again, like I said, miscarriage and abortion came up in the read, so this may very much well be about people who blame each other in a situation like that. Also in a breakup, if someone were broken up already and then they had sex and got pregnant, or if someone cheated and got pregnant, it's not their child. All of these situations are coming up. There's definitely animosity between the masculine and feminine in this relationship regarding a baby. But this baby's also in a nest. A nice baby bird came up in the sand art. It's also about the baby souls who are looking for the twins to come together already, so they have parents to come to. So it's also about the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine forgiving each other. And remember what it was like when you had your baby, and how much unconditional love there is for your baby, and forgiveness no matter what. It's the same energy. That's why I always reference the 6 of Cups as children and the twins, because it's really the same unconditional love energy for your baby bird. It's funny that, and forgiveness is birds, so it's your pure baby bird. And learn forgiveness from your children. From the pure ones. Alright, then we have Journey of Love. Take another deep breath, guys. Clear and align. Clear and align. Okay, for this December 1st, 2018, what is the advice for everyone watching? What is the advice? What is the advice? What is the advice for everyone watching? What is the advice for everyone watching? Okay. The bottom of the deck is the Christ Flame, number 31, which is that conflict energy, that five of Wands. There's definitely crucifixion energy here. Again, that's number 31, 4, but it's that 5 of Wands. That's the underlying energy, that chaos, that conflict that I was talking about in the sand art. And then the card that comes out for us is the number 12, which is self-initiation. Again, it's all about wisdom. 12 is the end of the cycle, the higher octave cycle. Okay, this is very much of fire energy. It's reds and yellows and oranges and blacks. And there's a little bit of white in the middle. And 12 is a 3. It's about self-expression, self-initiation. I'm going to read that one to you, number 12. It's 4,900. That was the 9 of Cups energy. About get your wish. It was 4900. So it was backed up with a lot of source energy there. And number 12, self-initiation. You're being touched by a wave of your own light in motion. You can feel the blessings and love that are flowing towards you from within you in an upsurging wave of love. Of love? This is your own pure divine nature. You can choose to empower another as the carrier of your own divinity, of course, and sometimes if you are not quite ready to recognize your own divine essence, this needs to be. Yet at any moment you can choose to recognize that it is you who are initiating yourself into love, that you are the being of light, the divine, that is drawing you forward into yourself. At any moment you can choose to recognize yourself, will this be such a moment. This oracle holds a message for you. There are many teachers on this path, some humble, some wise, some great companions on your life journey, and some who will enter in and out of your life quickly, perhaps imparting a helpful word or teaching you a more challenging lesson about trusting and relying on your own wisdom. The greatest teacher, however, is life itself. You can trust in your own experiences now that it is the divine spark within you, the life within you, that is the one true teacher who carries you home in awakened reunion with the divine. And the poem simply states, how easy to love and spirits connecting. The words flow when it is right. I dare not tell you. Okay, because it's all about self-initiation, okay, and speaking your truth. And don't forget who you are, okay, and don't assume that everyone has power and you don't, because you're the one with the power, okay? Believe in yourself and express yourself. Express yourself. Okay. Well, make sure you drink your water, ground, meditate, get your rest, and be happy. Guys, rise and be love.